Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Light of Asia podcast. I'm your host Polak Guru, and today we are diving into the life and legacy of Lord Gautam Buddha. We will explore how his teachings continue to shape the world, especially in Nepal where Buddha was born. And there we have it, a powerhouse of knowledge all gathered in one place to talk about Lord Buddha. Now let's get started. Rosmi, would you like to begin with a little overview of who Lord Buddha was and how his journey began?
Thank you, Paralaksa. I'm super excited to be here today and I can't wait to get into this topic. There's so much to learn about Lord Gautam Buddha from his early life to his transformation into the enlightened one. And of course, we have some incredible guests today who will share their insight and knowledge. So, buckle up, everyone. We are going to take a deep dive into the world of Buddha.
Further ado, let me introduce our special guest today. First, we have Suraj Pandit, an expert in religious studies and a true student of Buddha's teachings. Suraj, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Poroksha. It's an honor to be here. I am looking forward to share some insight on this incredibility journey that Buddha life was represented.
Also, moving on, we also have Nishal Kotwal, a passionate cultural historian who has done extensive research on the Buddhist heritage of Nepal. Nishal, it's great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Palakcha. It's great to be a part of this conversation. Buddha's life is so rich and transformative, and I'm excited to share what I have learned through the way.
I can already feel the knowledge overflowing. And last but certainly not least, we have Suraj Giri, a Buddhist monk who has dedicated his life to practicing and spreading the teachings of the Buddha. Suraj, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Palakche. I am very happy to be here and to discuss the profound teaching of Lord Buddha.
And there we have it, a powerhouse of knowledge all gathered in one place to talk about Lord Buddha. Now, let's get started. Rosmi, would you like to begin with a little overview of who Lord Buddha was and how his journey began?
Of course, Lord Gautam Buddha born Siddhartha Gautam in Lumbini, Nepal, over 2500 years ago. He was a prince, but his story is far from what you might expect from loyalty. His early life was marked by luxury and comfort, shielded from the suffering of the world outside, but once he ventured outside the place, wall, and the weakness, the reality of human suffering, illness, old age and death, he was deeply moved. It was at that point that Siddhartha made a decision that will change the course of his life forever to leave his family. His reach and remark on the quiet of the enlightenment. His journey was one of deep meditation, self-discipline, and profound spiritual inquiry. After years of searching, it was under the Bodhi tree, after a period of incessant meditation, that Siddhartha achieved enlightenment and became the Buddha, the awake one.
It's truly remarkable when you think about it. From a sheltered life to becoming a world teacher. Now, Suraj, as someone who has studied Buddhism closely, what do you think is the key message of Buddha's teaching that resonates so deeply with people around the world? Absolutely. Buddha's teaching don't just affect monks or spiritual seekers. They speak to everyone, no matter where they are in life. Nishal, I know you have done a lot of research on Buddha's impact in Nepal. How will you say his teaching have influenced Nepali culture especially?
Buddhism is so greatly in Nepali culture, especially in the Kathmandu Valley. Many of the historical sites, including Lumbini, the birthplace of Gautam Buddha, and the numerous of stupas and the monasteries in the valley, reflects the profound impact of Buddha teachings. So in Nepal, The idea of asam or non-violence, compassion, and the mindfulness are not just spiritual concepts but are also woven into everyday life. What I found fantastic is how Buddha teachings has to lead the information of regardless of religions or the background. There is a strong sense of community, so of living harmoniously. Buddha's teaching are practices are not just by the Buddhists but also by Hindu and people from other faiths in Nepal.
I couldn't agree more. It's a beautiful vision of cultures and spiritual wisdom. And Soros, as a practicing monk, how do you incorporate Buddha's teaching into your daily life? Can you share a bit about your personal experience?
The teaching are a way of life. For me, meditation is the most important practice. It helps me maintain mindfulness and stay present in every moment. Through meditation, I am able to witness the impermanence of life and cultivate compassion for all beings. One of the key aspects of being a monk is living a simple life, free from attachment and ego. Buddha emphasized that happiness doesn't come from material possession or external circumstances, but from inner peace and contentment. It's a continuous journey of self-realization.
It inspired to hear that, Saros, and I think one of the most profound aspects of Buddha teaching is that they encourage us to find peace within ourselves regardless of the chaos around us.
Exactly. It's like he gave us a blueprint to navigate life with wisdom and compassion. Now, before we wrap up, let's ask each of you a quick question. How do you think is one way in which the teachings of Buddha can be applied to our modern day lives?
Oh, for me, it's about the imbalance of non-violence in the world that often divided. Buddha's message of Asams reminds us that the kindness and compassion can be bridge gap between people from different walk of life.
I will say patience. Buddha path teaches us to remain patient with ourselves and others. Life is filled with challenges, but with patience we can approach life difficulties with calmness and wisdom.
Beautiful answer, everyone. It's incredible how Buddha's timeline wisdom still applies so strongly in our life today.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us the end of today's enlightening conversation. A huge thank you to all our guests, Suraj, Nisal, and Soros, for sharing their wisdom with us. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you listeners for tuning in. Remember, as Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. So take up those.
Thank you for listening to The Light of Asia. Stay tuned for more episode and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our podcast. Until next time, peace and love to all.